No, my number one, Colin Kaepernick.
No, he's the number one ugly.
You know,
that was ugly.
You know, it was ugly the results, but his cause was great.
Yeah,
you know, his cause was great for sure.
I don't disagree.
But ugly for him to lose his livelihood. You know.
Yeah.
And,
now look,
and
financially, he's
he's
not going to be a burden.
Right.
But the reality is, what he did, I thought was great. With the protest. Now, whether you want to say the workout last month or so was that's different. That's different.
That's a whole nother thing. But he had to do what he had to do, unfortunately, you know. And that's lack of trust.
Exactly.
On both sides.
But I had no issue with the protest. I had no issue with what he did. And based on that alone, you know, good for him.
And he'll probably be, I'm sure, like probably be considered like a person of the decade because of this, because it's brought awareness to a lot of like what's been going on in society.
Well, because even people who disagreed, look, the thing with this is he said, I'm going to donate X. I think it was $1 million based. And he did, which is a lot more than what a lot of people
know
do.
Your rights. Know your rights, you know, definitely. And what's your number two? Your number two?
Well, for ugly, it's Lance Armstrong. Because he was Mr. America. He won, 5 Tour de France's. He never did it. Yeah, he completely did it.
And I have Lance Armstrong number 5 overall on the list. Yeah, I have him. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like he accused people of lying. He slandered, people that were investigating, and then he finally admitted, that was horrible. Yeah, and to a lesser extent, Ryan Braun was to a lesser extent the same thing because he did. Remember,
denied it.
Yeah,
Ryan Braun was a baseball player in 2 great years. Lance Armstrong is an all-time athlete.
Well, all-time great. No, but I'm saying it's the same thing. But also, Braun was heading to the Hall of Fame before that. Yeah, before
he was off to a great start.
Yeah, great start to his career. But now, number 2, Penn State. Yeah.
I forgot that was that even. I forgot that was even in the decade. It was 2010.
Yeah, 2012 is when everything started. Like, I don't need to say anymore, just a lot of children that were abused.
You don't need to say anymore.
And it's just a shame that Joe Paterno turned his back to it. I know he knew about it. And then, anyway, it's one of the most distasteful moments in the history of sports.
It's up there.
Society in the 21st century, for sure.
So I differentiate between bad and ugly. So the number one bad thing was the Boston Marathon tragedy a few years ago.
I remember I keep it top five overall. Yeah.
All right. So, and then I guess the other thing we probably should mention, well, you mentioned the U.S. gymnastics.
Yes, I have that number 3.
And which is just, I mean, what can you really say about Larry Nassar except you hope he dies in jail? And that's probably too light of a punishment. But he ruined hundreds and hundreds of people's lives.
Yeah, like young women, and just this is what I mean about stuff like this. And this is things that I think this is the one good thing about social media and the one good thing about media being out there now. Because back in those days, decades, we never would hear anything about this stuff. Until years later when people would admit. But I'm so glad that this stuff can be exposed. We have a platform with social media because this is a social media decade.
Oh yeah,
2010s, and I'm glad that these monsters are exposed for what they are.
Yeah, there's no question, and that also leads to Aaron Hernandez.
No, yeah, I have. Yeah, and Aaron Hernandez, I did not have that on my list actually.
No, pretty bad and pretty ugly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that missed the cut because I think you've had NFL players in situations.
Jovan Belcher, you've had some.
Yeah,
we've had some problems before.
But Donald Sterling banned for life, which was interesting.
Actually, to me, that was a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that was Adam Silver stepping up and saying,
2014,
and saying, look, because remember, David Stern had been the commissioner for 30 years, 25 years, whatever the number was. Nobody knew who Adam Silver was. And he comes up and says, hey, I have my first month. This is a decision I have to make. It was made. It was the right decision. And he's been applauded and he's been lauded ever since.
That's right.
Correctly so, because he's done a wonderful job as a commissioner.
That's a great point. And also, too, another thing, but Donald Sterling, it wasn't just for his racist remarks and everything like that, but also, too, the way he ran that organization. You hear all the stories
the Elgin Baylor.
Yeah, Elgin Baylor situation, how he was treated. Also, too, like the sports arena not having players on the no real practice facility for them to take hot showers. Like these are
ridiculous.
professional athletes. Like he was like skimming, to gotta not take care of his players. That's why, So and then my honorable mention, LeBron James throughout the decade. The decision, 2010, which was
ugly,
which was an ugly situation, and he regretted that. 2014, returning back to Cleveland.
That worked a little bit better.
Oh, definitely. 2016, bringing Cleveland their first sports championship in 52 years. Then 2018, opening up the Promise Academy. I Promise. I Promise in Akron, Ohio. So he has done major, and what he's doing for the Lakers to close out the decade right now.
Yeah.
Oh, like LeBron James, the most, and we'll talk about him more later in athletes for sure.
And the only really bad other one I wanted to mention quickly was the Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods, y'all.
That was rough. It was a rough first 8 years of the decade.
Yeah.
Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah.
The kick six.
That's right.
Where and actually it was 2 games because it was also Auburn, Georgia the week before the 4th and 17 pass.
Yeah.
And then they go and the kick six when Chris Davis returns the missed field goal 107 yards on the last play of the game.